Y ahora tengo el honor de presentarles a Kimberly. Kimberly es una mujer líder. Es esta pasión por unir ambos mundos, el mundo blockchain, el mundo de las tecnologías, las fintechs. Con esa pasión es que ella creó ChainMyne para expandir el acceso a las criptomonedas. Es una inversionista activa desde el 2016. Está comprometida a compartir el potencial transformador de las monedas digitales a una audiencia más alta. Ella es nacida en Costa Rica y ha desarrollado su carrera en Canadá. Así que tenemos el honor de presentar a Kimberly. Bienvenida, Kimberly.
Hola. Buenos días.
Muchas felicidades. El escenario es tuyo.
Muchas gracias. Hola, buenos días a todos. Es un honor para mí estar con ustedes en mi país natal y ver hermosamente cómo los mundos se están juntando y las comunidades están creciendo en este mundo de tecnología, de banca, y bueno, estoy muy honorada de venir a presentarles mi historia y espero poder inspirarlos a un crecimiento más de nuestra comunidad aquí en Costa Rica. Así que bueno, empezamos. En 2009, mientras la mayor parte del mundo financiero se centraba en los mercados tradicionales, yo era una madre joven que trabajaba como cajera de banco y me tropecé con algo que revolucionaría mi vida. En ese tiempo, las computadoras podían generar algo llamado Bitcoin. 20 años después, estoy ante ustedes como fundadora de uno de los exchanges más reconocidos en Canadá, conocido como ChainMyne, que une activamente dos mundos que muchos todavía creen que no pueden coexistir. Mi viaje desde contar dinero detrás de una ventanilla de banco a construir una tecnología blockchain no es solo mi historia. Representa el camino transformador que nuestro sistema financiero ha venido atravesando en los últimos años. Mirando alrededor de esta sala, algunos de ustedes provienen de la banca tradicional, otros son nativos de las criptomonedas que rara vez les gusta entrar a una sucursal bancaria. Y muchos como yo viven con los pies en ambos mundos. El futuro que voy a compartir con ustedes hoy no se trata de elegir bandos en una revolución financiera, se trata de crear armonía entre dos poderosas fuerzas. Las innovaciones más valiosas no destruyen lo que vino antes, lo transforman. Y esa transformación del escepticismo a la sinergia, de la competencia a la colaboración, es el puente que he estado construyendo a lo largo de mi carrera y con mi equipo. Es el puente que definirá nuestro futuro financiero. Recuerden cómo fue la primera década de este milenio. Facebook empezaba a tomar parte de nuestras vidas, Twitter dejaba de ser un sueño. Empezábamos a contar nuestras historias en pequeños dispositivos que podíamos cargar en las manos. Y como si fuera poca revolución, me encontré con algo más adelante que me daría independencia y libertad financiera. Recuerdo haber escuchado sobre unos mineros pequeñitos que valían unos $250 en ese tiempo, que generaban algo llamado Bitcoin. En ese momento yo estaba haciendo muchos malabarismos entre mi carrera en el banco y ser mamá primeriza. La vida ya era bastante compleja, sin añadir el extraño nuevo concepto digital, pero algo me intrigó. Mientras aprendía sobre regulaciones bancarias y cumplimiento, cómo se mueve el dinero, cómo se rastrea, cómo se gobierna, simultáneamente estaba presenciando el nacimiento de un sistema diseñado para operar fuera de esas estructuras tradicionales. El contraste era fascinante. A medida que ascendía la jerarquía corporativa para convertirme eventualmente en una asesora financiera, mantuve un ojo sobre esta tecnología emergente. Vi cómo el Bitcoin pasó de la oscuridad a los titulares. Viví el escepticismo de mis colegas en las finanzas tradicionales, muchos de los cuales lo descartaban como una moda pasajera o algo peor. Pero lo que ellos no veían, lo veían como una amenaza. Yo lo reconocía cada vez más como una oportunidad. No para reemplazar nuestros sistemas financieros existentes, sino para mejorarlos, para romper sus limitaciones, para servir a personas que no estaban siendo atendidas adecuadamente. Y en mi caso, bueno, lograr mis sueños como pilar de mi familia y mi comunidad. Comencé a ver cómo mi posición única, con un pie en la banca tradicional y otro en este mundo de cripto, no era una contradicción. Era precisamente la perspectiva necesaria para visualizar cómo estos mundos podrían eventualmente converger. Para 2018, la criptomoneda ya no era un concepto confuso y misterioso. Bitcoin había creado una repercusión mediática sin precedentes, estableciendo nuevas fortunas, titulares polémicos e interés en la población general. Como asesora financiera, me encontré en una posición única. Los clientes sentían curiosidad por esta nueva clase de activos, pero las vías de acceso eran un poco complicadas y a menudo intimidantes. Comencé a ayudar a algunas personas de mi red a navegar por este complejo proceso de incorporación a los exchanges de criptomoneda. Era un proceso engorroso, técnico y a menudo frustrante. Esos exchanges tenían requisitos estrictos, tal como debe ser, pero la experiencia del usuario dejaba mucho que desear y luego vinieron los fraudes corporativos, los colapsos de exchange que dejaron a muchos inversionistas desilusionados. Este periodo fue inspirador para mí. Presencié de primera mano la brecha entre finanzas tradicionales con sus regulaciones establecidas, protecciones al consumidor, interfaces amigables y el salvaje oeste de la adopción temprana de las criptomonedas. Pero en lugar de ver solo un problema, vi potencial. Y si pudiéramos combinar los mejores de ambos mundos, y si pudiéramos llevar la seguridad al cumplimiento, la experiencia del usuario a la banca tradicional, al potencial innovador y sin fronteras de la tecnología blockchain. Esta pregunta se convirtió en mi obsesión. Pasé innumerables horas con mi equipo investigando, creando redes, planificando. Hablé con desarrolladores, expertos en cumplimiento y usuarios potenciales también. Estudié exchanges exitosos y fallidos por igual. Y gradualmente comenzó a formarse una visión, no solo para un negocio, sino para un puente entre dos mundos. En 2020, mientras el mundo lidiaba con desafíos sin precedentes, di un salto de fe y fundé ChainMyne. Nuestra misión era muy clara: crear un exchange que sirviera como puente entre banca tradicional y el mundo blockchain. Comenzamos aprovechando de tecnología existente, parándonos en los hombros de los gigantes, como dicen. Esta fue una experiencia retadora y educativa al mismo tiempo. Rápidamente aprendimos que construir este puente no solo se trataba de la tecnología, sino de crear confianza entre usuarios, los reguladores y nuestros socios bancarios. Los primeros días fueron desafiantes. Enfrentamos el escepticismo de los bancos tradicionales que veían las criptomonedas como un competidor en lugar de un complemento. Encontramos resistencia de entusiastas acérrimos de las criptomonedas que veían cualquier conexión con la banca tradicional como una resistencia a los principios fundamentales de la criptomoneda. Navegamos por el complejo panorama de regulaciones en evolución. Pero con cada desafío vino el aprendizaje y el crecimiento. Descubrimos que muchos de los principios que habíamos aprendido en la banca tradicional sobre seguridad, sobre servicio al cliente, sobre cumplimiento, no eran obstáculos para la innovación, sino fundamentos esenciales para un crecimiento sostenible. Construimos ChainMyne con la creencia fundamental que la criptomoneda y la tecnología blockchain no estaban destinadas a destruir las finanzas tradicionales, sino a transformarlas. No a quemar puentes, sino a construir nuevos. No a crear caos, sino a aumentar el acceso, la eficiencia y la oportunidad. Esta filosofía guió nuestra decisión que tomamos desde nuestro diseño de interfaz hasta nuestros protocolos de cumplimiento, desde nuestras relaciones bancarias hasta el sistema de atención al cliente. No estábamos simplemente construyendo un exchange, estábamos creando un modelo que en estos mundos podían coexistir y complementarse entre sí. Quizás el desafío más significativo de la construcción de este puente entre las finanzas tradicionales y la cripto ha sido moverse por el panorama regulatorio. Muchos ven la regulación como el antítesis de la promesa de las criptomonedas, una restricción a la innovación, una barrera para el mundo sin fronteras que permite la tecnología blockchain. Pero mi experiencia en la banca tradicional me dio una perspectiva diferente. Entendí que las regulaciones en su esencia existen para proteger los consumidores, garantizar la estabilidad del mercado y prevenir actividades ilícitas. Esos son objetivos que no entran en conflicto con la promesa de las criptomonedas. Son esenciales para la adopción generalizada. En ChainMyne abrazamos el cumplimiento regulatorio no como un mal necesario, sino como una ventaja competitiva. Trabajamos diligentemente para adquirir nuestras licencias de servicios monetarios con el gobierno federal de Canadá y con el de Estados Unidos. Esto no era solo un requisito, era una declaración de nuestro compromiso de operar con integridad y transparencia. Sin embargo, el viaje regulatorio no terminó ahí. Enfrentamos regulaciones provinciales que variaban en su enfoque hacia las criptomonedas. En Quebec, por ejemplo, en la provincia de Quebec, donde se habla francés, pour ceux qui parlent français, tuvimos que cerrar en algún momento 60% de nuestros clientes de la noche a la mañana, simplemente porque las cosas cambiaban y no había educación del lado regulatorio. A través de estos desafíos, descubrimos algo importante. Ser un puente significa más que simplemente conectar dos puntos. Significa traducir activamente entre ellos. Nos encontramos explicando blockchain a banqueros y regulaciones bancarias a desarrolladores de blockchain. Nos convertimos en intérpretes entre mundos con diferentes lenguajes, diferentes prioridades y diferentes temores. Este trabajo de traducción es continuo y esencial, y a medida que las regulaciones evolucionan, y están evolucionando rápidamente, empresas como la nuestra deben continuar abogando por marcos que protejan a los consumidores, mientras permiten la innovación. Debemos ayudar a los reguladores a comprender las capacidades y los desafíos únicos de la tecnología blockchain, y debemos ayudar a la comunidad cripto a comprender el valor de las protecciones adecuadas. No siendo esto suficiente, imaginen por un momento una mujer de origen costarricense, una tica con una visión de innovar en el sector financiero, enfrentándose a un sistema dominado por hombres en el corazón norteamericano. No solo debí demostrar mi capacidad y conocimiento, sino también superar los prejuicios arraigados. Cada reunión y cada presentación ante banco y reguladores era una batalla por la credibilidad. Con tenacia y empeño, rompí barreras, abriendo camino a futuras generaciones. Mi historia es un testimonio del poder y la perseverancia y la importancia de reconocer el talento sin distinción de género. Mientras estoy aquí, no soy solamente fundadora de ChainMyne o una ex cajera de banco. También soy orgullosamente nativa de Costa Rica, un país con inmenso potencial en convertirse en líder en adopción e innovación de blockchain. Mi experiencia trabajando con instituciones regulatorias canadienses, construyendo tecnología con mi equipo, crean puentes entre finanzas tradicionales y blockchain, me han dado el conocimiento que estoy ansiosa por compartir con mi país natal. Costa Rica tiene ventajas únicas en este espacio, nuestra democracia estable, nuestra fuerza laboral educada, compromiso con la sostenibilidad y ubicación estratégica nos hacen ideales para este desarrollo. Pero realizar este potencial requiere más que solo tecnología, requiere comunidad, educación y desarrollo con propósito. Mi visión para Costa Rica no se trata de inversiones especulativas para hacerse rico rápidamente, se trata de construir herramientas prácticas en tecnología blockchain que resuelvan problemas reales para personas reales. Se trata de crear sistemas que aumenten la inclusión financiera, que creen cadenas de suministro más transparentes para nuestras exportaciones agrícolas y permitan nuevas formas de organización comunitaria y gobernanza. Aquí es donde el puente entre las finanzas tradicionales y blockchain se vuelve mucho más importante. Al reunir la estabilidad y la confianza en los sistemas financieros, establecimos con la innovación y la accesibilidad del blockchain, podemos crear soluciones que sean tanto revolucionarias como confiables. Visualizo una Costa Rica donde los agricultores locales pueden rastrear su café desde el grano hasta la taza usando blockchain, asegurando una compensación justa, una certificación auténtica. Veo un futuro donde nuestra industria turística aprovecha el blockchain para transacciones eficientes y seguras que beneficien tanto a los visitantes como a los negocios locales. Imagino comunidades usando sistemas basados en blockchain para gestionar colectivamente recursos, votar sobre iniciativas locales y crear nuevas oportunidades económicas para nuestra gente. Esa no es solo una visión tecnológica, es una visión humana. Se trata de usar esta poderosa tecnología para fortalecer comunidades, para crear oportunidades y construir un sistema financiero más inclusivo. Al concluir hoy, quiero volver al mensaje central de mi viaje. El futuro de las finanzas no se trata de elegir entre banca tradicional o criptomonedas. Se trata de crear armonía entre ellas. Mi camino de cajera de banco a fundadora de un exchange de criptomonedas no es una historia de abandonar un mundo por otro. Es una historia de construcción de puentes. Se trata de reconocer que la innovación no requiere destrucción, que el progreso no exige que descartemos todo lo que vino antes. Las innovaciones más poderosas de la historia no han sido aquellas que reemplazaron completamente los sistemas existentes de la noche a la mañana, han sido aquellas que encontraron formas de integrarse, mejorar y transformar gradualmente lo que ya existe. Este es el enfoque que necesitamos en el espacio blockchain. No maximalismo, sino integración. No revolución, sino evolución. Los desafíos por delante son significativos. Los marcos regulatorios continuarán evolucionando. Las instituciones tradicionales continuarán adoptándose, algunas rápidamente, otras lentamente. La tecnología avanzará de manera que no podemos precedir completamente. Pero a través de todo esto, la necesidad de puentes, de personas y organizaciones como las vuestras, que puedan traducir entre mundos, que puedan ver el valor de ambos lados, solo crecerá. Invito a cada uno de ustedes, ya sea que provengan de las finanzas tradicionales o del mundo cripto o de algún punto en el medio, a convertirse en constructores de puentes, a buscar entendimiento ante la disrupción, a encontrar la armonía entre la estabilidad de los sistemas tradicionales y la innovación de la tecnología blockchain. Porque cuando construimos estos puentes, cuando creamos sistemas que combinan lo mejor de ambos mundos, no solo creamos mejores productos financieros o transacciones más eficientes, creamos más oportunidades, más inclusión y más posibilidades para las personas en todas partes del mundo. Para terminar, quiero también anunciarles que ChainMyne va a establecer muchos cajeros automáticos de cripto en el país, así que los invito a visitarnos en el booth para tener un descuento en su primera transacción y tenemos muchos regalitos también, así que fue un gusto hablar con ustedes y fue un gusto compartir mi historia. Gracias. I did it.
Muchísimas gracias, Kimberly. Perfect. So we'll have Soren Azorian. He is the CEO of Redline Blockchain. He is Web3 and digital transformation expert and the founder of Redline Blockchain. He focuses on building ecosystems and driving the adoption of decentralized technologies to disrupt the traditional finance. So now with you, Soren.
Bienvenido a WebFi, una plataforma pionera donde el poder de la banca estadounidense se une a la flexibilidad de la gestión de criptomonedas, accesible globalmente. Empieza fácilmente, regístrate y verifícate en línea en pocos minutos. Tu puerta de entrada para gestionar USD, BTC, ETH y más, con seguridad sin igual. Experimenta transacciones rápidas y seguras, ya sean nacionales o internacionales. Nuestra plataforma garantiza que tus depósitos y retiros sean rápidos y sin complicaciones. Conéctate sin problemas a activos digitales, dándote acceso global a liquidez 24/7. Sumérgete en un mundo donde intercambiar activos no solo es fácil, sino altamente eficiente. Duerme tranquilo sabiendo que tus activos están protegidos con medidas de seguridad de primer nivel y custodia regulada. En WebFi, tu seguridad es nuestra prioridad. Disfruta de transacciones con tarifas bajas y alta liquidez. Además, realiza pagos a terceros tanto en USD como en criptomonedas sin esfuerzo. Únete a WebFi hoy. Empodera tu futuro financiero abrazando una plataforma que expande tus posibilidades. Visítanos en línea y regístrate ahora.
Pura vida, Costa Rica. Let's start with big hands for Carla and Jose for Association of Blockchain Fintech and the Blockchain in Costa Rica for this well-organized event. Thank you so much for inviting us, and hello everyone. As you see, my name is Soren Azorian. I'm CEO of Redline Blockchain. We are proud Panamanian corporation. We built our company in Panama, and we're serving globally every individual or institution to be able to easily use US banking and crypto in one place. So you don't have to ponder anymore to go find an exchange to trust them. You don't have to worry about the bank's gonna do the on-ramp or off-ramp for you. You don't have to worry about it, the price of the asset's gonna go up and down. You can control all of that into RedFi or with our platform. To start with and break some ice quickly, with a show of the hands, how many of you guys are doing buy and sell of the crypto every single day? All right. And the ones which they don't raise their hands, do you speak English? Perfect. And the reason I ask is because we are living in 2025, which most of the transaction can be in the speed of light. And not only with the Bitcoin and Lightning Network, you can also use traditional finance to be able to empower your businesses and the theories which you're trying to achieve. If I have the stage for 3 hours, probably we'll have a conversation time, but I have to cut it short. So I'm going to pass it to introduction of the RedFi. Before RedFi, I want to quickly pass, our booth is over there, our guys are over there. If you have any questions, which I cannot answer over here, please come and see us. We are working with, as I said, individuals and institutions, any sort of institutions, from the import-export to family offices, funds, they'll be able to use our services. Doesn't matter, you're from Costa Rica or from United States, or you're from South Korea, or you're from UK or Japan or Brazil. You'll be able to use our services to be able to have the banking account without being in the United States. You don't have to create the LLC to go and open an account in the exchanges. You'll be able to use the RedFi without the US banking. We'll give you US banking and we give you crypto at the same time in one simple platform. And of course regulated, KYC, and AML, and travels and everything else is already built into our ecosystem. Next generation finance platform. Why we say that? Because we're trying to do what has been missing from the market. There are lots of great exchanges. As you see, one of them was here. She did a great job to explain. But what we're trying to do differently is we're trying to go to the core. And our motto and our hashtag is cross the red line. Many of us been redlined for banking, for the thing which we're trying to do. It doesn't matter what ecosystem you are in. If you are into cannabis or if you are into crypto, you've been unbanked. You've been basically pressured to just not grow your company because you just don't have a say. So you've been redlined without even you been starting it. So with us, we're crossing that red lines, and that's how our company named Redline Blockchain. Why this matters, and because right now, as I said over here, conversion is happening, and United Finance is happening at the same time. So CFI, DeFi, TradFi, real-world assets, DPs, all are coming together to give you that ability to take care of your future. So it's not anymore 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, it's a 25, and from now and beyond of this age, we'll be able to do better and correctly position ourselves to global, no matter where we are locally operating from. Market problems, as you can see, is expensive, slow cross-border transaction, lack of a seamless fiat crypto integration. So most of the time you have to go to an exchange, and if the exchange doesn't work with that particular local bank, you cannot send the transfers. So if you can send a transfer, you'll be able to, sorry, yeah, I get excited and just go crazy with this. But so traditional bank are restricted crypto business. Why? Because most of them are not compliant, so most of them are not going through the rules of AMLs, which is very important for banking ecosystem. So with us, we have built that fund. So there's a $2 trillion plus digital asset industry needs banking solution. Businesses require alternative financial systems, and hopefully you will give us a try, and RedFi will be the system you'll be using it. How RedFi solve it? Seamless banking and crypto integration. As I said, as soon as you just register, which you can do it immediately right now, you'll be able to open your KYC and AML platform, and you'll be able to go through it within a few minutes. After that, you'll get a notification from our company, you're approved or not. If you don't approve, basically we're looking for summary identification information to be able to complete that. And then from there, we got secure custody, so you don't have to worry where your crypto is. When I'm saying secure custody, we're working with the companies, as you can see on our website, from BitGo, for Anchorage, from Fireblocks. We have it all figured out. So if you're an institution and you're worried about where that funds will be or where the crypto will be, we have the insured custodians. We are a company. We are a technology company. We have made it easy for you guys to just do what you're supposed to do in 4 or 5 different kind of places, only in just one place. And that's a shout out to you with zero knowledge, by the way. Competitive edge and why RedFi. Do you guys know, I love banks. I'm working with the banks all the time, but you know, sometimes they are too traditional and too old with the infrastructures they have. They're trying to come up with lots of solutions right now, trying to do some fintech solution like Yapi we have in Panama and all other stuff in the country here. Back is doing some great stuff. But again, still they are waiting for lots of approval and Congress and regulation to happen. You don't have to wait no more. Just come to us. We will help your company. We will help you individually to just try to do whatever you were doing before to come and do it in one place. Very simple. You see that some of the guys over there, Revolut, MoonPay, Wiry, these guys usually they do banking, some crypto exposure, but they have also limits. You cannot buy and sell on the high traditional numbers or frequency trades which if you are doing. If you are import-export and if you want to pay an invoice in Singapore or Hong Kong or Dubai and it's $10 million, you will have a hard time to just basically be able to do that. Versus with the RedFi, you can simply send with the crypto or receive the crypto or just basically convert to us with a direct liquidity, which is always available 24/7, 365, to be able to click, and then send a wire through the SWIFT or ACH or Fed wire to any country you want. And one of the great use cases which Stephen told me to talk about it is if you are paying people, your employees, you want to create a counterparty. Instead of using your bank, you can use our system. You can send the invoice freely from our system. You can add the counterparties freely to our ecosystem and just be able to receive and send them. It doesn't mean we are not checking or we're not going to require most of the information, let's say contract or the bills or why you're paying this person, but all of them are made it easy for you to do. For the next, as you guys can read it and probably we're going to share this information later on, but all of these are stated into our website or on terms and conditions. You can read our terms and conditions in less than 30 seconds probably because there's not much to do. Like whatever we say is not exactly what we're delivering. Traction and growth. We are expanding, as you guys can see it. We serve in Panama. We are covering all entire Latam, except Venezuela and Cuba. The rest of the countries are welcome to open a business account or individual accounts, and hopefully Venezuela and Cuba soon they will come to the ecosystem. We're expanding in Latam and beyond. Right now our offices we have in Panama and the United States, but also we are expanding in Costa Rica. Our team, Kevin and Alejandro, are doing a great job in Costa Rica. If you want to have the demos, you want to sit down and you want to just figure out how we can help your companies, please, we'll be more than happy to do that. Upcoming features, treasury product, Euro, COP, and MXN accounts, tokenization. All of that is going to come to RedFi as a one platform. You'll be able to use it. That's all we are working. For many of you guys, if you're trading high volumes, let's say from USDT to COP in Colombia or USDT to MXN in Mexico, our OTC desk will be able to help you within 15 minutes. Local bank transfer in the country. That is not inside the portal yet, but you can do it through our OTC desk immediately. So thank you again. And you guys can just, do the QR code or go see our team. Whoever comes from this event up to April 7th, if you finish your KYC and email, you open your account. If you're individual, you will receive a $200 worth of USDT and US dollar. If you're a business, $250 USDT and $250 of US dollars. If I have a minute, if somebody has a question, please ask away. I love Q&As. If not, come see me, find me, or go talk to my team and we'll be able to answer any questions. Any questions? Any hands up, down, sideways? None. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Soren. And as Soren said, now we are going to have Stephen Clarke-Martin. He's going to talk about 2 tokens, 1 future, the evolution of real-world asset tokenization. Stephen Clarke-Martin, he's the CEO and founder of Tesseras Lab. He's the founder of Tesseras Lab, a DEX platform revolutionizing real-world asset trading with over 2 decades of experience in tech and startup. He leads Tesseras Lab in bringing traditional finance and DeFi through secure, compliant RWA tokenization solutions, driving innovation and blockchain asset trading. Welcome, Stephen.
Thank you, everyone. Happy TicoBlockchain. My name's Stephen. I'm originally from Panama, but I now speak English because I spent way too much time in the US. Wearing many hats. The hats I wear or have worn have been DevSecOps, automation, building a lot of Web 2 platforms and government systems, banking platforms in Germany and the US, a lot of time in Silicon Valley, which all have led me to wearing the hat that I wear now in front of you. Building out the future of RWA, tokenization, and the DEXs that they live on. Tesseras Labs is deploying a decentralized exchange over the next couple of months, and we're onboarding projects now. We're really excited about this approach, and we encourage lots of questions and engagement with us. There are about $300 trillion in real estate assets that are ready to be tokenized. RWAs have been important for a long time, but there's a massive gap between what's out there in the market and what's been tokenized. Right now, there's only around 50 billion tokenized assets that are live. You can look at rwa.xyz to look at those details. There's only around 65,000 holders of real-world assets. In the global stock market, there are about a billion people that hold stocks. In the US alone, 150 million. So what's the gap? The gap is not as complicated as you want to think about, but the solutions are pretty straightforward, and we're going to talk about those things. The problem with just using security tokens is, and that's where things have started. There are companies that we can name, but it's not necessary. I think we're all familiar with tokenization. The problem with just tokenizing is that you don't have a tradable asset that is very liquid. It's not very liquid because we have laws that we have to comply with. You can't signal to the market that something is of interest. When you think about the NASDAQ, for example, we have an environment where Nike is traded. Actually, I don't know if it's Nike that's on the NASDAQ, but let's say Nike, we're talking about Nike, and there's excitement about the Nike brand. There's excitement about the Nike brand. Nike might produce some information about their brand, about their product line, but changes in the market. That signaling matters to the price of the Nike stock. When you tokenize an asset that may not be very liquid and a lot of people may not know about it, and you have a whitelist of investors that need to be KYC'd, and they have to go through a number of different hoops to be able to hold that asset, you have a situation that's worse than becoming an accredited investor in the United States. There are details around that, but it's not really relevant to us here. We're building for the future and for the world. The thing that you should take away from this slide is that illiquid markets do not allow for the crypto economic incentives that are possible with tokens and these blockchain technologies that we are building. Crypto economic incentive is something that is really important to me. I spent a long time in the ad tech space building media monetization systems for companies like Yahoo, and actually most of Silicon Valley uses the technology that I designed ironically around media monetization, processing closed captioning metadata when I was learning to speak English. But that's a different story. Today, we're talking about building beyond a single token for a project. Today, you have a lot of different ways of tokenizing. Some of them are using a single token, and they are matching an asset value to a stable coin. And then you have a couple of different other ways, but I don't want to spend too much time on that. We can talk about that later. But I do want to just mention that a number of security platforms, security token platforms have started deploying their own layer 1 blockchains. And the reason for that is complicated, but I want to hint at why I think that's happening. Value accrual for blockchain networks happens at the validation level, and platforms like Uniswap have launched Unichain. Companies like Securitize have partnered with Athena to create their a new layer 1 called Converge. And there's all these different moves that are happening. And these things are important, and I'm sure that they are super excited about what they're doing, but they haven't really solved the problem that's really important to me, and that's actually usability. Spending my time in ad tech, I feel really bad about the damage that we did to society by incentivizing people with ads and cookies and all this nonsense. And when I started building in the blockchain domain, it was really around building modern systems that align humans with what they want in the real world. And that's really what we're trying to do with Tesseras. So why 2 tokens? We can get into the details later, and I'll give you a little bit of an example, but 2 tokens isn't as complicated as what people think. When you are separating the tokenization process for a real world asset, that might be a condo project, that might be, a Costa Rican Disneyland, it might be a commodity product like a hydroelectric plant, that might be a data center, that might be any number of different things. The tokenization process is using ledger technology to secure who owns that asset, whitelisting who can own it based on any regulations or laws that are relevant to that jurisdiction, handling things like the travel law so that we don't get in trouble with any banking regulations or any of those things, and then doing something that was imbued in the blockchain framework from the start. Ethereum was really about computable technology, computable smart contracts. And I think a lot of people forgot that when we spent too much time with NFTs and meme coins and other things. These smart contracts can reference each other. So what we're doing at Tesseras Labs is leaning into the small universe of business models that are supported by real-world assets and curating and developing the supporting smart contracts that enable these types of workflows. Beneath how are we doing this today? We're leaning into layer 2s. We're starting off on Base, but we'll be on many chains. We are doing a couple of tricks to get to market fast. One of the key things that we're doing is we're leveraging intent-based protocol. This is a little bit different than an AMM, where it's what's commonly used with Uniswap pools, where the market is determined based on the buyers and sellers of a particular token. With intent-based protocol, we can signal to this resolver network that somebody might be interested in buying or selling a token. And in that process, we're also able to aggregate liquidity across multiple different blockchain networks and any number of different token types. Some of the other things that we're doing is, the key to doing a lot of this is assigning real-world assets to a fairly innovative taxonomy or category that matches to the user's interest in what they are looking for. Why is that important? If you go to Uniswap today or any exchange, Kraken or anything else, you can certainly swap and trade, purchase, or do any number of things, but when you're dealing with real-world assets, the metadata around a real-world asset is very fuzzy. It's grapes to oranges to pillows. And the way that is represented in a user interface to allow for somebody to basically go into a mall and acquire effectively the ability to use a hotel or the ability to purchase a consumable online is very different than what is done typically with an exchange. So with 2 tokens, we're able to tokenize the asset, and then deploy a number of utility use cases for that real-world asset while referencing that asset that's been tokenized and maintaining a registry of the assets that we're vetting. And then behind the scenes, we have an entire workflow to ensure that the assets are properly curated and their entire life cycle is monitored and presented to the user for, you know, their comfort and their reasons to invest. I'm running out of time, but I just want to share with you the really top level example in the real world. You would have an ERC 3643 token, that's a security token, where the KYC'd investors would be vetted and they could invest in the real ownership of the project. And then we would have an ERC 20 token that would enable various use cases for exploration. That's the gist of it. We set up a legal entity and we assigned rights, and then we issue the tokens. Then we list those tokens on our decentralized exchange with our innovative UX so that those tokens can be accessed. One of the neat things that we're doing, which is pretty common these days, but it's using pass keys so that somebody that's using our decentralized exchange doesn't have to be worrying about crypto keys or anything like that. They can log in with their browser, on their computer, on their phone, whatever. And we monitor the entire life cycle of each project, the tokens, through our metadata, and that's the gist of it. We welcome you to check out Tesseras, to tell us about your project. We're onboarding projects now. There's a massive gap from the amount of projects that have been announced, the amount of projects that have actually been tokenized for some of the reasons that we saw with Tesseras. A single token project listed on a DEX, on a typical DEX, means that that project's value can go to zero, and we don't want that. We want your project to be successful. Tokenize with us, work with us. We'd be happy to enable your dreams. If you have any questions or you want to see this deck with a lot of details behind the scenes, it's readily available, and I've pre-planned some of the fact questions that you might have. Please find me on the floor or discuss with me later. Thank you.